Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of My Neck of the Woods, where we embrace the treasures that's right here in our own backyard. It's kind of hard to see because of the trees here, but if you look back over, you see Ramstein Air Base, a major center point for all of us who are over here helping out and working over here in this area. Today we're going to talk about KTown and all the things that are involved in it and all the things that concern us and me in it. This map shows data of Europe in about 2020, and at that time we had about 60,000 U.S. troops. And at 33,900, Germany has the highest number of U.S. troops in Europe and the second highest in the world. So that's followed by Italy, which is about 12,300, and the U.K., which is about 9,300. So the U.S., of course, troops are stationed in Germany, and around 2006, everything started to basically be either dissolved. There was a lot of bases that shut down, and the number of troops from that time period, like from 2006 to 2020, they were kind of cut in half. Now, in February of 2022, there was a big deployment of troops, and there's extra forces and things in Europe in response to the Ukraine crisis. So that was the U.S. trying to help and to be in position for anything. So you have military that covered the air and the land and sea and so forth, cyber, all of that. Just bringing a total. It was more after they got done deploying people or extending their stay or extending their service time. It ended up being about 100,000 people over here, 100,000 soldiers over in the Europe area, period. Now, there are 5 major army garrisons in Germany. There's Wiesbaden, there's Stuttgart, there's Bavaria. I used to live in Bavaria. We talked about Ansbach. And this place where I live right now is called Rhineland-Pfalz. Okay. All right. So now look at this map. It shows a big chunk of Rhineland-Pfalz garrison. That's what it's called. So, and that's not even all of it. So you can imagine just looking at this map, how somebody like me coming from Ansbach was trying to navigate all of these different parts. It was a nightmare. So, but I got through it. I survived. Okay. So for the past 6 years, my stomping ground has included Landstuhl and Ramstein and Kaiserslautern. So when people say KTown, they are normally talking about an area, not just necessarily a city. See, the garbage man is run. Garbage cans are still out and everything. So this has been my street for the past 6 years of my 11. Time to go. The most distinctive aspect of Landstuhl is its 60-year history of being the home of the largest American community abroad, period. Now, Landstuhl is known for the military hospital. It's like the major facility outside of the United States. It treats active soldiers and veterans all over Europe. And then most of them would just come in and travel and to get treatment And so the military soldiers and from all branches are stationed there. So you just got a big melting pot of service people working there. And so most of the time, if there's somebody who's injured or they're wounded, they're normally stopped by Landstuhl Regional Medical Center before they go back to the United States. Now, right down the street from me is Landstuhl. And it is documented to have been built in 1253. They said that the castle was conquered and the complex was partially blown up. And it says that French troops destroyed more parts of the castle in 1689. So about 1869, the castle was renewed again in certain parts. So the thing about Germany and European countries, they value greatly their history and the castles, and people love castles. I personally like walking through them, and even those that are ruined. But I especially love those that are intact, though, how they care for them. And even some that I visited, the people are still living in them. So that lets you know how well taken care of some of those castles are, some of those homes are. But last week, I think not last week, but a couple weeks ago, I showed you about the hiking in my backyard, my big old backyard. So they have tons and tons of trails and all kinds of little things like that that go, that run through this area, just period. Now let's talk Kaiserslautern. Now, Rheinland-Pfalz used to be called USAG Kaiserslautern, but it's mainly the headquarters. The headquarters of Rheinland-Pfalz is in Kaiserslautern. So it encompasses, when I say Rheinland-Pfalz, we really basically are talking about everything in this particular area. So it's like if you look on a map and you go about 80 miles southwest of Frankfurt. Find Frankfurt because it's easy to find on the map. Go about 80 miles southwest and you will be able to see the area where we are right now. Or if you don't want to find Frankfurt, find Paris and go 295 miles northeast. Okay? All right, so we got a whole lot of these little satellite bases that sometimes still get me confused. I'm like, where is what? I'm a little bit better now, but you have bases like Simbach and Kleber and Panzer and Daner. And you got, of course, Landstuhl. You got Misa, you got Kaiserslautern, you got Rhine Ordnance, you got Pulaski. You got all of this stuff that's going on, all of these different sections, and all of these have a different function. All right, so basically you and of course Rheinland-Pfalz includes like Baumholder and some of the other surrounding areas that are not as close but still apart. Okay, so basically in just this area, tons and tons of military in this particular area. Very key place. Very awesome place. Now, Kaiserslautern, lots of stuff going on. Kaiserslautern, let's talk about the city on the German side. It's important banking. Kaiserslautern is an important banking and rail transshipment center that manufactures machines and automobile parts, including motors. Computer hardware assembly and software production are also important. There are famous vineyards along the Rhine and Moselle that are the source of German wines. And we already talked about Germans like their wine. It's a whole nother food group. And the growing of fruit and tobacco is also considered to be important in this particular area. Now, an important tourist industry has developed along the Rhine. The Rhine is beautiful, y'all, especially if you're on a boat and you just chilling and you see all the castles and everything. It is beautiful. So you have all these picturesque wine villages and these terrace vineyards and the castle ruins, like I just said, along the top. So if you're ever this way, just say you want to go on a Rhine River castle tour. It's really pretty, especially on a nice sunny day. And then they have all these little cute towns you can just kind of drive through and look and see. They got little nuggets all over the place. I like cute little towns. So it's really a cool place to be. Like I said, a lot of hiking, and those who like to just kind of, you might want to ride your bike through and do it that way. Talk about Ramstein. We have Army and Air Force all mixed in here together. You're talking about a confused sister when she came from Ansbach, trying to navigate all the different parts. So anyway, let's talk about Ramstein. Ramstein Air Base started with Ramstein Village. The name Ramstein actually means ramming stone in Germany. The area in Rhineland used to be under Nazi control, but was repurposed by NATO and U.S. forces. It was formed in 1948 and commissioned in 1952. Ramstein is busy because basically everything you need is on this base. We have the exchange, which is the largest I've ever seen with the American restaurants. They have a base. The base normally has gyms, commissary, swimming pools, library, arts and crafts, auto skills, auto repair. Just whatever you need is normally there. And of course, there's shopping. But most of the bases have gyms and cafes though. So all the little sections and all the different parts that I showed you in one of the maps, that normally is the case for a lot of the bases, the little satellites here and there. But I will tell you, Ramstein has the only exchange in this particular area. Okay, well, at least among these three cities. So Ramstein is also busy because Ramstein is the headquarters for NATO and for USAFE Africa. Ramstein, it's just like that movie on Netflix. I can't remember that movie, but you know where they were going to drop off Christmas gifts or supplies to the islands. That's kind of what they do. They do humanitarian aid, and they take like military supplies here and there. And so lots of things going on this base. Lots of stuff going on in this base. But if you want a little bit more information, there are some really, really cool videos on YouTube. Just look up Ramstein Air Base, and then you'll go into a couple of really short videos that are not very long, but they'll give you a whole lot of detail about what's going on. Or at least give you some insight for those who are not over here the way that we are over here. Well, that's our show for today. Thank you so very much for tuning in to another episode of My Neck of the Woods, the place where we embrace the treasures that are right here in our own backyard. See you next week. You know, when I first started my television show, I was terrified. One, because it was uncharted territory. And another reason was because of the name itself, Now You See Me. It gave the air of transparency. And I wasn't sure if I was ready for everybody to see me. But I said yes. And it's been a journey that I will never forget nor regret. It was maturing. It caused me to open up. It caused me to not be afraid of my feelings. It was fun to create. Even if some of the topics, I will be honest, I didn't really want to talk about, but I felt in my heart of hearts that that's what I was supposed to be talking about that week. But as you go through one thing and you're at one level, then God puts you in a position where you go to the next level. I have a channel, Filling in the Gap, and the name itself speaks volumes. It means that we're going to be filling in the spaces and giving people information that's going to move them from point A to point B. I know in my life, it seems like I was right there on the edge of something always. And then somebody came by to give me what I needed to push me on to the next level. And that's what I want for this channel. So if you are a person that feels like God has called you and you have a vision, you have something to share with the people. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be cooking, it could be exercise, it could be whatever. But you're really, really feeling like what you have is what somebody else needs. And you may be the person that's perfect for this channel. If you are that person that I'm talking to right now and you want your voice heard, contact me on any of these social media platforms and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'm excited for you.